So I'm driving to work right now. It's the day after the fight. I slept a lot today. I slept late. Went to bed kind of late, but still definitely felt rested, needed the rest. It's kind of amazing how we fight for maybe it's like 6 minutes, and it's really exhausting. And the thing about it is that people, kind of freak out about gassing out or, not being able to have the cardio for it. And the thing is, you do gas out in fights, it happens, but the fact of the matter is it's literally impossible to fully gas out in 6 minutes. Like, it's just not going to happen. You just need some breathing recovery time. So I lost the fight by a lot. It was not a good fight. Angela has progressed a lot in the past year. She was a great fighter last time too. This is not to say that she wasn't great last time and she is now. She was a good fighter then, and she's a better fighter now. She's definitely added things to her training and arsenal. She's very well trained. And it was cool getting back in the ring with her because it was a fun fight last time. One of the more fun fights that I've had, and it was cool to kind of have that memory of how much fun it was getting in the ring, and also having it be such a chaotic situation by itself. That I don't know, when you have 6 weeks or whatever to train and prepare to fight a fighter like Angela, I don't know how that makes much of a difference than like a 20-hour advance notice. You don't really prepare to fight a fighter like that. Tactically, you come up with angles or strategies or something that you're going to plan to do, but it's like what Mike Tyson said, that everyone has a plan until you get hit, and Angela hits you, so it's hard to plan for her. But it was cool. I left work at like 9 o'clock, and then Augie, my corner, and my husband came and picked me up, and it should have been a pretty quick jaunt over. From where I work across the bridge to where the venue was should have been like 20 minutes. And unfortunately, they were doing some kind of construction or something on the bridge, and we were in like standstill traffic, just dead traffic for probably what seemed like much longer than it was, because you're just sitting there, but it seemed like we might miss the fight. Like, it was pretty heavy duty. But then all of a sudden it just opened up and it started going. So we zipped across the bridge, and when we got across the bridge, we ended up getting to the venue at like 10:10, like 10 minutes after what we thought. And they're very nice at the door. They knew who I was, and they were like, radioing around, figuring out where to send me and all this stuff. So they brought us over to the dressing room, and then it was nice getting there that late because there aren't a bunch of people in there. Usually in your warm-up room, there's just tons of people. The first fights are getting ready, and then the next fights are getting ready, and if you're at the end of the card, you're kind of just in this like stacked room, people full of bodies waiting to go. That is if you're an earlier fight, because it just never empties out. But being at the very end, there were like 2 people warming up. So I went and changed in this kind of like anteroom at the end of the church. It's the Hall of St. Paul. It's like a cathedral. So I went into this other room and changed, and then the WKA officials came in and weighed me, which I thought was kind of funny. I mean, clearly you have to do it. It's like part of the official process of fighting in the United States. If you're gonna have an agreed upon weight, of course you have to weigh in. I just thought it was funny because Angela weighed in yesterday, and I weighed in today, so it's having a same day versus a day before weigh-in is just funny to me. I totally understand why they do it though. Made weight, which was not really a concern, and then just went into the dressing room and started wrapping my hands and getting ready. And it was kind of cool, like the energy when you've just gotten there and it's time to start warming up, it's time to start getting ready. Like, it's just very high paced rather than the sitting around that you do when you show up at 6 o'clock and your fight is at 10 o'clock or something. I have had times where I'm waiting for like 5 hours, which is really exhausting and boring. and a lot of things that are not fun. But so having this like really high-paced, it reminded me of my fight in Bangkok when there were 7 of us all crammed into this little tuk-tuk, where like I'm sitting on my husband, my corner is sitting on the battery of the tuk-tuk, and we were in terrible Bangkok traffic in this little thing that was so weighed down with having 8 bodies in it, including the driver, that it just wasn't moving very fast. Like I don't think it could go faster than like 15 miles an hour anyway. And we arrived at the venue actually after my fight was supposed to have gone. I was supposed to be the first fight, and I ended up being, I think, the 3rd fight. And I was like getting my hands wrapped right next to the woman I was going to be fighting. It was like, we ended up jumping out of the tuk-tuk and running over because we were within like 3 blocks of it, and the tuk-tuk just wasn't moving anymore because of traffic. It was pretty funny. And so while this situation was not quite as crazy as that one was, it felt reminiscent of that for sure. But it's cool. I don't think a lot of people get to experience the opportunity or the experience to have a fight that's such short notice like that, because it's very different. Like I said in my last update, it takes away a lot of the things that I dislike about fighting in the West, which is this whole building up and agonizing over, you know, whether you've trained properly, whether you've, you know, done all these things that are supposed to ultimately prepare you for this perfect moment. And when you take all that away and it's like someone calls you and says, do you want to fight? The answer is, yeah, I want to fight. Like, the option is I can fight tomorrow, or I can maybe not fight for another 5 months or something. Like, yeah, I want to fight. And I had said at my last fight with Angela that I wanted to rematch her, and I meant that. This isn't quite the way I pictured it, but that doesn't matter. You know, it should never be the way you picture it, because the way you picture it is an ideal situation. And, you know, fighting is not an ideal situation. So I think that in a lot of ways, like, I feel kind of, I'm not happy with the way I lost the fight. Like, I lost it pretty badly. I kind of got my ass kicked, which I didn't think I was going to do incredibly well in that fight, but I thought I'd do better than that. And I think that, you know, it doesn't feel good to lose. It doesn't feel good to get your ass kicked. It does feel good to fight. It does feel good to be able to jump at an opportunity like that and have fun. And it does feel good to have that experience as one experience in the narrative of my fight story. And I'm glad I did it, and I'd probably do it again. Maybe not work that same night, but whatever, you know, you can't take the whole night off. It is what it is, and you know, I don't need my record to reflect this, that, or the other thing. I just want it to reflect the kind of fighter I am, which is, you know, kind of crazy. So I think that's good. Thanks everyone for your support. I got a lot of Facebook messages as I was getting ready, and I really appreciate all the support everyone gives me. It's, you know, it's what allows me to keep doing it, and I look forward to talking to you guys again. Hopefully I'll have another fight. We're looking at one for March. The woman I'd be fighting, I think, fought last night somewhere very different, and if she doesn't get injured in that fight, she's going to consider the fight with me. So fingers crossed that it went well for her either way, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon.